Hi, you all. Welcome. We're going to make this pretty interactive today because we got to wake you guys up since it's towards the end of the day. So the first question I want to ask you is, how many of you, raise your hands if you're interested in partnering with some of these companies or finding out about potential partnerships? Raise your hands. Okay, good. Raise your hands if you're a startup yourself. Competition? Raise your hands if you're interested in investing in startups. Okay, quite a few of you. So this won't be useful for any of you guys, so you can leave. I'm just kidding. I'm going to invite the startups out individually. They're going to give a 4 to 5 minute presentation about their companies. I'm going to ask a few targeted questions, and then the next person will come up. At the end, we'll have questions for the overall group. What I'd like you to do is to start keeping in mind your favorites, okay? Because at the end, you guys are going to vote for who the startup is that's going to be around in 5 years, seriously. We all know that the startup world is, there's a lot of churn and burn, and it's hard to stick around. So we want the most likely to succeed by the end of this showcase. All right. I've told the CEOs that this is the Hunger Games for startups, so they're ready with their bows and arrows. Okay. The first out is Gilad Rotem, CEO of Cups. Come on out, Gilad. Woo!
Hey, everybody. It's working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be working.
Woo! Yeah, it is. All right. How many can relate to this? And the rest are lying. Thank you. So yeah, everybody loves coffee, right? I mean, you know what? No. Love is an understatement. I bet most of the people in this room could not last a day without at least one cup of this hot, delicious, had 2 of them in the past 30 minutes, steamy, delicious, beautiful black gold. And you know what? I'm very passionate about coffee. And you know what else you can't live without? Especially all these guys in the back. Your mobile phones. And Starbucks, the world's biggest coffee shop chain, knew that when a few years ago they launched the Starbucks app. Today, the Starbucks app accounts for 15% of Starbucks' annual revenue in the US. That's a freaking $1.5 billion. Yeah. Starbucks. Wherever you look, wherever you go, it's Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. There's no real third big chain. I mean, at least it looks that way. If you look closely, the Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts do dominate the US coffee shop market. But there are over 30,000 independent coffee shops. Together, they have over $12 billion in revenue. But the unfortunate thing is, I mean, yeah, it's 30,000. The unfortunate thing is, these independents, they can't compete with Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. They can compete with these loyalty apps. One, app development costs are way out of their reach, but that's not the interesting part. The main problem is that they're not united, and they'll never be able to offer the same level of comfort and convenience as the Starbucks app can, for example, with its 12,000 locations nationwide and impressive biceps. So this is where we come in. Cups unites independent coffee shops. We do that with a mobile app that's offering unique prepaid coffee plans that make it easy, fun, and rewarding to visit these independent establishments. Let me show you what I mean.
Medium black coffee, double
Turn it
shot
up.
espresso, soy cappuccino, skim latte, French press, double shot macchiato, almond milk. Whatever your drink is, Cups has it. We offer prepaid plans for the city's best independent coffee shops. With them, you can get as much coffee as you want, whenever you want. How does it work? Choose your coffee shop from the list of participating locations. Choose your drink. Hand your phone to the cashier to punch in the code. That's it. Enjoy your coffee.
So for example, you can get an unlimited coffee subscription, which is exactly that. You pay a monthly fee, and you can go to any one of the 120 coffee shops working with us in New York City and drink as much coffee as you'd like. Redemption, super simple. You choose the coffee shop, you choose the drink, you hand your phone to the cashier to punch in a code, and that's it. You get your coffee. We launched Cups in Tel Aviv. You might have been able to tell by the accent. We're from Israel, where we launched a pilot about 2 years ago. It went very well. We worked with 80 coffee shops, sold over 100,000 cups of coffee, but always knew we wanted to take this concept global. Always knew that the only place to begin this journey is in the coffee capital of the world. So we came here. And in May, we launched Cups in New York City, where we are currently working with over 100 coffee shops, actually over 120 now, and have sold 50,000 cups of coffee. It's been going great. The users are loving it. And the press could not be more incredible, which just, it's not a surprise, but I guess people really, really, really love to talk about coffee. When you think about it, it's not only a coffee subscription. Cups is right now, 6 months after launch, the third biggest coffee shop chain in New York. By the end of the year, we plan to have more locations than Dunkin' Donuts or even Starbucks in the city. And from there, the opportunities are very limitless. And obviously, it doesn't stop in New York. Wherever there are coffee drinkers and coffee shops, there will be Cups. One last thing, I have 38 seconds, great. Shameless plug of the day. Download the Cups app, put in coupon code STREETFIGHT, and get $10 off your first Cups plan. Plus, the first cup is on us for free. Thank you.
I'm going to ask you a question or two. Can you guys hear me? Okay. So Gilad, hold on to your microphone there. Margins are low in coffee shops. So explain to me how what's the transaction that goes on? Who gets the money?
Sure. So the Cups business model is very, very simple. We sell these prepaid plans. That's where we generate revenue from. And then we pay the coffee shops per cup. So users go with the app, they redeem drinks, and then we pay the coffee shops. Obviously, being that coffee shop's biggest customer, we get a discount on coffee, and that's where our margins and profit come from. We need to argue about margins on coffee being low. They're relatively high, especially they're probably the highest margin product in the coffee shop, and they range between, depending on how big you are and how much you spend on coffee, between 40 to 70%.
I've noticed that some of my favorite coffee shops are not on your app. When you get pushback from coffee shop owners such as Joe and other places like that, what are they pushing back on? Why are they saying no?
Various reasons. It's kind of a catch-22. Joe is a great example. You have these 10 top, amazing, self-proclaimed best coffee shops in New York City.
They are the best.
Yes, they're good. And, being a small startup, these coffee shops won't sign up until the other one will sign up. So it's a work in progress, but we'll get there. It's not the product, it's more of a branding.
So they're just saying, wait, until my fellow coffee shop owners, the snobby ones, sign up, I'm not going to? It's like a snob thing?
It's a little bit of that. It's like, I want to see that coffee shop, which I think is just as good as I am before. I don't want to be the best one.
And they're not impressed by the other 100 that have
What's
signed
that?
up. They're not impressed by the other 100 that have signed up.
Not enough. My smile didn't help this time.
Okay. What about a bigger question is the competition from Square. I hear that they're coming into the market.
So Square is doing something very, very different. First of all, Square is limited to coffee shops that are working with the Square POS. Second, what they're doing is they're offering an order ahead app. It's actually live. It's working in New York, where you can prepay for your coffee and then get it while it's ready. My personal opinion about that, I'm not sure coffee is the perfect product for such an order ahead feature, kind of like a seamless thing where you order and then pick it up. Simply because coffee has, if it's waiting 30 seconds, it might not be as great as if you had picked it up yourself. It's an interesting product. We'll see how it works.
Okay. Thank you very much, Gilad. Those are my
Thank you.
questions. Later, you guys can ask Gilad questions. So you're going to go back there, and I am now going to call up the head of Vizalytics, Aileen Gemma Smith. Come on down.
Great. Thanks, everyone. My name is Aileen Gemma Smith, and I'm here to talk to you about Mind My Business. Mind My Business is the essential platform for brick and mortars. We give them business-specific insights and actionable alerts because unpredictability costs local businesses thousands of dollars that they don't have. Well, we help them save money. Let me talk to you about why. Our users are folks like Alex here. He owns Pearl Diner. He estimates that last year he got hit. It's not advancing? All right, well, I guess the transitions aren't working, so let's go forward. He estimates that last year he got hit with about $9,000 in regulatory fines. After that, he figures he lost another $11,000 in revenue when he had full staff and empty tables because he didn't know there was construction going on nearby. Unpredictability hurts businesses like Alex because they don't know, they can't prepare. Well, Mind My Business, we change that. What we do is give him business-specific alerts, the heads up to things like that guess what? 2 weeks from now, there's going to be construction that's going to block the street or there's a sidewalk shed going up, so he's able to prepare. We just talked about coffee. Let's talk about local businesses. Because folks like Alex, they represent there's a delay, of 700,000 businesses in the top 15 metros with open data. That's just in those large cities. And I'm talking about where 1/3 of the US lives and happens to go out to eat. That's a $5 billion market. Because here's what I want you to think about. Every single city has construction, changing to regulations, and rats. This, you laugh, but this is our most shared alert. This is the kind of information that storekeepers want to know, because if the guy down the street had that problem, you want to know so you can call the exterminator before you end up on Gothamist with saying, hey, guess what? No one's going there. Folks care about this. They don't have access to this, and we give them that information. Because the opportunity that we see is using open data to tell them that. So in just 1 month, we sent out over 60,000 customized business-specific alerts to the hundreds and hundreds of users that we have in New York City. That's why folks love us. And our users, if it clicks, our users are folks like Mario and Mike here. They've got smartphones, and they want help. So that's why 42% of our users are looking at our tool multiple times a week, and 15% every single day. I want you to think about that, because our early adopters are late adopters like that. They've got smartphones, but they want help with the real day in and day out pain that costs them a lot of money. They want help. So that's what we do. We help them predict changes. Today's election day. If you're a coffee shop near a polling place, it'd be really good to know last week, this is the day you want to staff up for. We help them to operate more efficiently with staff up and staff down. We help them know, is there construction nearby? Is there subway changes? Or how to avoid fines. Think about this. In 2012 in New York City, $42 million was levied against local businesses just in the food service industry. So when I tell a shopkeeper, I can help you understand your risk for fine, they say, tell me more. Briefly about our team, we've got a background in news, content modeling, data analytics, enterprise scale search. Chris and I have been working together for the past 6 years. And part of our advantage is we begin with empathy. I'm a former business owner, so I know what it's like to have to go to various city offices to understand what regulations apply to you and what regulations don't apply to you. That's tough, and that takes a lot of time you don't have. I'm also from Staten Island. So 2 years ago, when Hurricane Sandy hit my hometown, I saw friends who were local business owners stuck with not only 6 feet of water in the shop, but I don't even begin to know what agencies I'm supposed to go to. Where do I find information? Well, our team said that's not okay, and that's why we're going to fix that, and that's why we came up with Mind My Business. Because what I need you folks to understand is the need for information is there. The data is there. The team is right here. And no one takes care of business like Mind My Business and our team at Vizalytics. Thank you.
With a minute to spare, that just gives me extra time to skewer her. I'm just kidding. So the way you came up with the idea was you were, was it Hurricane Sandy? Really? You can talk into the mic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
What were you doing at the time that this became your new?
So we were working on a faceted nav map of all sorts of census information to help folks understand, like, here's what's happening in their neighborhood. But business owners were like, so what, I don't care. Hurricane Sandy happens, and we see, like, everybody's washed out and nobody knows where to go. New York City brought all the agencies together in what they call these kind of, like, come-together centers. And folks are still like, how do I get through this information? Just tell me what I need to know. So I said, well, we can do that. We can fix that, and no fair. I want to help the businesses that I went to as a kid be there for my kids.
So the revenue model, does it come into play once you have scale?
Absolutely. So we tested out $40 a month with local businesses, and they're like, cool, we'll pay that. But we want to do is actually monetize at a higher level, but we also believe in democracy of that data for all businesses. We were awarded Best Mobile App by New York City, so we want to put this in the hands of every single shopkeeper, not only in New York, but also in other cities. The way to do that, super strong engagement at first, and then upsell later on after you've built that trust. Because what we all know, local businesses are absolutely word-of-mouth referrals, and it's absolutely a trust-based business.
So you walk in there, I'd love to know the pitch. You walk in there and you say, hi, I'm the reverse Amber Alert for rats, rat sightings. I mean, what do you say to these guys?
So actually, I walk in there and say, you've been here for 20 years, and I appreciate that, and that's an amazing thing. What I want to do is give you tools so you can be here for the next 20, because have you recently been hit with a city fine? And a lot of owners are like, whoa, okay, thanks. Yes, because those things suck. Or you walk in a shop, hey, did you know the crane was going to be there? No, and I'm really frustrated about it. And then they go on and on into those stories. So it has to be rapport.
Okay, and $40 a month, right? And you promise them that they'll either save $40 or make $40 extra?
They actually save thousands of dollars extra, because if you're that local business and you have the heads up to 2 slow weeks and you staff down, think about what that means. Or you change what you're going to order, you actually save a lot more in addition to just the fines.
Are you guys funded? How are you going to scale?
So, excellent question. We are a bootstrap startup. I sold my house against doing this. That's how much I believe in local businesses. We just went through 500 startups. We are currently talking with a lot of interested investors, and we're excited about going forward.
Okay, scaling though.
Scaling.
Let's say you got the money.
Absolutely.
You have $1 million. I just gave it to you. What are you going to do?
Well, first off, I'd say thank you, because that's hard-earned cash. That's number one. But actually, what we're working on is we have customized live snapshots that we give out to users. So when we came into 500, we had 100 users that I got door-to-door, store-to-store, let's talk about this. Afterwards, we've scaled to over 700 users, and the way that we've done that is customized live snapshots. So for your shop, we'll show you, this is what's happening right here, right now. Are you interested in Mind My Business? And we get instant downloads, and we're also seeing effects of shops that, let's say you're using it, and he's down the street. You're going to tell him about it. I've never prospected him, but suddenly he becomes a user.
So are you saying you have to have boots on the ground in order to expand?
That is absolutely a part of it, but that's not the only part of it. We're talking with the city of New York about becoming the de facto platform, so that way businesses can renew their licenses and permits through us. And we're also talking with some potential channel partners.
All right, great.
Thank you so much.
Good answers. Thank you, Aileen. Next up to the hot seat, Amanda Parker, CEO of Uplette.
Hey guys, I'm Amanda Parker, co-founder and CEO of Uplette. Think about the last time you got a mobile advertising, right? It was a mobile ad that was delivered to you, you looked at it and you went, ugh, right? It's usually the content delivered to you is not relevant, it's not personalized. Uplette gets that right with mobile advertising that learns. Mobile advertising is an incredibly frustrating experience for both the consumer and for the advertiser. which is why consumers like you and me are performing less than 1% on those ads. Creating, segmenting, and analyzing all this data in order to get creative that performs is incredibly expensive, time-consuming, and complicated. Uplette solves that by filling the gap between the ad exchanges and DSPs and consumers using data, machine learning, and our own predictive algorithms to determine exactly what gets delivered to who, when, with complete accuracy. We're super simple, fully automated, and fully smart-powered solution to help brands and advertisers make and deliver creative that actually performs. Uplette gives brands and advertisers the ability to create 3 times improvement on conversions. And we're working with amazing brands. Oops, okay. We'll go back. We're working with amazing brands like Samsung, Pepsi, Universal Music Group, 20th Century Fox, and Molson, among others. Since launching in June, we're powering over 40 million smart user experiences, and we're growing 50% month over month. Mobile advertising, as you all know, is a huge market. And in a $25 billion market, the opportunity to be the leader in powering better user engagement has never been more necessary. And we're the team that's doing it. I come from a content and agency background, having run my own agency consulting key brands on how to figure out this whole thing called mobile. And my badass co-founder, Alexi, he comes from an AI and machine learning background, powering the predictive magic that is Uplette. And together, we've built an amazing team of UX UI, data scientists, and systems infrastructure engineers to help us scale and grow. Consumers deserve better user experiences. Uplette delivers those, excuse me.
That's it.
That's it. Super simple.
Oh my God. All right. You have 3 minutes to go. Okay. So tell me, in what way, why are you at this conference? You're a mobile advertising platform.
Yeah.
Tell me about your local street cred.
Sure. So we feel that every experience needs to be highly personalized, hyper-local, and delivered at scale to consumers. So we can go as large as those big brands or as hyper-local as SMBs. We're taking in information such as demographics, location information to determine exactly what content should get delivered. Mm-hmm. So it's useful for somebody as big as a big brand or small businesses who want to deliver those really highly personalized experiences.
Tell us how a little company like you could get such big brands so soon.
Because it's necessary. I mean,
no, how did you do it, literally?
Yeah,
how did you get all these big brands to start working with you? Because you really are early.
Yeah, so initially, actually, Pepsi came to us. They had heard about us word of mouth.
They had heard of Uplette, or?
They had heard of my agency that I was working with previously. They came to us and they said, hey, we want to create some really highly personalized experiences. Maybe we should create an app. And we went, oh, let's not create another app. And we thought, maybe let's try creating a marketing platform, utilizing all this awesome data that's on mobile, and using that to power unique experiences. We pitched it to them, and they gave us a whole bunch of money to create the platform that is now Uplette. And then as soon as we had launched with Pepsi, we started talking to other big brands and agencies. And they said, yes, this is absolutely a problem. Here's some clients, here's some money, let's start doing this. And that's where we are right now, is at that inflection point where we've launched, we're growing, we're making money. We're fundraising as well, so we want to now use that money in order to grow and scale to larger basically brands and agencies. Most of them are actually reaching out to us, which keeps my sales super simple. Like we're getting reached out to by Omnicom and a lot of other brands and agencies who know that this is a problem. They need a scalable solution, and we're that.
So I want you guys to be taking notes now. We're going to pick the audience favorite at the end, and it's going to be the company that's going to last 5 years. So remember, okay? Keep that in mind for all of you newcomers. You're going to have to clap at the end for the best company that's going to be around in 5 years. So here you are. You're in the landscape of the Lumascape. For any of you, do any of you guys know what the Lumascape is? She's in ad tech world, meaning there's so many companies that are similar or just barely tangential, and there's like thousands of them, and they're all going to compete for money and attention and clients. How do you, if you built this in such a short time, how do you expect to stay ahead of your competitors?
Yep, so it's our proprietary technology, which we're filing IP around. So we have one of the first and best context engines on the market, which is why we're able to do what we can do very easily. So one, it's tech, and then the other piece of that is also going into other verticals. So we actually picture ourselves, crossing the gap between marketing automation, big data, and advertising technology, using all of the data that we're collecting across multiple verticals and industries. And we're also carving out our own piece in that Lumascape, where we're really one of the only effective solutions. And that's why all these brands and agencies are coming to us, is because we can do what we say we can do at scale.
If my grandmother were standing here, what would you tell her if she asked you, what's a context engine?
That's where we take data, and we're able to digest it and understand that, and then pick what data or which content should be delivered to you.
So if I want to find out, about rats, an Amber Alert for rats, rat spotting, and you would serve me up an ad about Vizalytics?
Yes, obviously, I would serve you up an ad for Vizalytics.
How would you? How would you know? I mean, would you go into my profile? I mean, how do you know what I want?
So we actually layer on top of ad exchanges and DSPs who are doing all that targeting, have that data. So then we take their data, essentially our data, and some proprietary sources, and then we take all of that and determine what should get delivered.
So you don't know my name. You just know that I'm female of a certain age.
Yeah, it's not, no PII data. We can't do that. We're PII compliant, and we're scrubbing anything that we do get, or you opt in, essentially, to anything that is PII.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sonny Mayugba, CEO of Requested. Come on down.
Awesome. So thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. And it's really special for me because Requested was very influenced by Street Fight, ironically.
I'll take all the credit.
Yeah, good job, Laurel. Good job. Can we talk about your outfit right now? Should we do it now or later?
Later.
Let's do it later. Okay, let's do it later. Okay. All right, it's so hot. So Requested is a mobile application where consumers like you can name your own price for anything you want at restaurants and clubs. Anything, Laura?
Anything. Wow.
Anything you want at restaurants and clubs. So in an intellectual term, as we heard earlier from Dave, it could be a yield management, dynamic pricing, optimization tool, right? But really, it's just really simple. It's so simple.
It's slow. Just give it a moment.
Just give it a sec. Okay. So it turns out I am a business owner myself. So I'm a merchant, and this is my restaurant. It's called the Red Rabbit. It's 4,000 square feet, has 53 employees, has 2 bars. It is a lot of work. It's the people that you guys have been talking about all day and Street Fight talks about all year. And I made some interesting observations about Red Rabbit. We have peak times where it's really, really busy and we run a 2-hour wait. And we have off-peak times where it's super empty, but I have a cook, or 3 cooks, and 3 bartenders, and a hostess, and so on. And really, it's built on loyal customers. That's really what drives Red Rabbit. So I was looking at that, and as an ad person, I was thinking, I really want to do some marketing, but there's these interesting problems. I only want to do promotions and discounts for off-peak times only. And off-peak times vary. It's not just always slow Tuesday at 2:30. Usually it is, but it's not always. Also, I have no mechanism to make more money during really good peak times. And contrary to popular belief, I don't want all customers, I want all of the right customers. And this is probably the biggest epiphany of my little 3-problem set. So Red Rabbit is this cool craft cocktail bar that has no TVs, doesn't sell Red Bull, this kind of, that kind of hipster joint, right? And right next door, and those are our customers up there, and right next door are the guys down below. So we have a bar next door named Bar West that has like 27 TVs, girls with huge fake boobs, serving drinks in fish bowls.
What's wrong with fake boobs?
The's not a damn thing wrong with fake boobs.
All right.
I mean, not a damn thing. I love
gotta
them.
establish that.
No. Just saying, that's just the thing,
This should be reversed, shouldn't it?
So it really taught me something. When you open your own small business, as some of you may, or probably most of you don't know, you really want you're thinking, I need everybody in here because it's a beast that never sleeps, right? Most of you in here sell small businesses, your services or tools, but really thinking about it from their point of view. So anyway, I was looking at that and I started thinking, man, As a marketer, there's really no product that solves these problems. You know, Google definitely does intent, and while Groupon puts butts in seats, it really doesn't create recidivism, right? So we take off right where they leave off. And I'm gonna take you through the product here. So it's requested. You name your own price for anything you want at restaurants and clubs. Eventually, we think it can work in any and all verticals, but it was a good discussion earlier about that. So our high level is like, we're like Priceline meets Open Table. So I'll take you through a couple things, and if you look at the screens, I'll show you the actual product here. So it's this mobile application only. There is no web version. And so this is, you know, Felix, he and his girlfriend want to go out on Tuesday at 2:30 and save a few bucks, right? So they would come into the portal and say, I want a discount. And they would, oops, let's go back one. So they would select their places. Does it work? Well, in this case, yeah, there we go. So they could select one or multiple places. They select 2 places, 3 places here. They select that it's Tuesday. They're going to show up 2:30. And they want a value of 100. And then dynamically, they can ask for anything they want. So in this scenario, they ask for, they're willing to pay 80 bucks for it. The head count's 3. And then they get this cute summary, and they confirm and send it, and they get this awesome dynamic clock that actually tells them, hey, in under 15 minutes, requested guarantees you a yes or no. The merchants are notified on the other end, and they get a yes or no. It's just that simple. So I'll take you through the process a little bit longer. So it's Facebook Connect. You can use email to log in, but we prefer Facebook Connect. And you get this awesome little profile. And then as you can see, we have these things called kudos. So it's like a little social currency. So on Yelp, you can Yelp us as merchants, right? Well, on Requested, the merchants can actually give you kudos, much like eBay's little plus system, right? And that becomes a currency for getting more acceptings. So I'll take you through the whole process. Here's a priority request. So I want to go out. I'm going to take Laura out because she's thinking about investing in my new company. She really wants to go to this hot restaurant. I'm like, hey, they have no tables, but let me take care of this. So I add these 2 places. I go, there's another one you might like. I say it's going to be today. We're going to show up right at 8:30, even though they told us there are no tables. And then I get this actually a radical dialogue box. Here I say, I want a VIP table. And I remember she mentioned, I really love that chef. So I'd say, I want to meet the chef. So 1, they don't have the table. 2, this is something you really can't buy unless you know the guy. And what am I willing to pay for that? Well, if I'm Zuck, I'm willing to pay $100 million. If I'm me, I'll pay 150 bucks. There's going to be 4 of us because I'm going to bring a couple friends along. And we want a response in 15 minutes. Craft that request. It takes about 20 seconds to craft that. Send it off. 15 minutes. On the other end, the merchant is notified. They can choose to ignore it. Sends me a soft no. In this case, they take a look. They take a look at me and profile me to make sure it is the right customer. Do they really want to hook me up? They can deny me and I can communicate with me as a brand. Or they can just actually accept. And then we're done. It creates this unique ID. I can check in. They can give me kudos. They see they got paid. And it's awesome. So here's where our company is today. We have this awesome core team. We're all technical co-founders, 3 engineers and a product developer. We were built on the backbone of Famous. It's this JavaScript web tech framework. We're seed funded, patent pending. We got our formation done. And really most importantly, I really liked what Jonathan from Grubhub said earlier. We've curated our merchants. So we have these 50 merchants we're launching with this small base of users. This is some stuff we don't know. There are a few things we don't know. But what we do know is we make 15% off every transaction. They get 85% net. So we cover all transactions. Like transaction fees. We did an alpha test. Average order was 30 bucks. And we know we have this really great market size. That's 1.8 billion transactions per day in the restaurant business alone. So you can see what a revenue model might look like. You can throw a million zeros on there and make it scale real big. We're in Sacramento. That's our test place. And then hopefully in 100 cities is our goal. And I really, really would like your feedback. So thank you very much.
Woo. Okay, no, hold on to that.
Yeah, I'll stay right here. Now, can we talk about the outfit or
Yeah,
questions?
no,
Q&A would probably be smarter.
First the Q&A. So my first question to you is, why didn't you name it Off-Peak?
Yeah,
Why
because
requested?
off-peak doesn't quite sum up the entire, sometimes it's on peak, right? Sometimes it's during peak times.
Okay.
You might be willing to pay more for priority or
Okay.
for something actually really radical, like I really want Sonny to be my waiter.
Good point. Who's your target market for this? Because I have to say, I'm personally sick of apps that are made for 20-somethings
Right.
who want to go out and go to nightclubs and restaurants.
Yeah, sure. So, it's a 2-sided network, as you know. So on the merchant side, our target market at this point is restaurants and clubs. So we're just doing locally owned, really hip and cool nightclubs, but not like dance nightclubs, more like actual live music venues, as well as great restaurants and bars. So that's one target market. Then we have our users, and that's a little bit trickier equation because if you look at a Venn diagram of priority and discount, there's only a small sliver in our theory that will use both. So on one hand, we're going after, college students that might have more time and less money, or people like that, artists and so on. The other side might be real estate developers and lobbyists and people 40 plus that have more money and want to pay for experience and maybe have less time in life.
Or who might be traveling, there might be for
That's right.
tourists, that kind of
That's
thing.
right. Or just want something really unique and are willing to pay for that.
So Sacramento, how has it gone so far? How long have you been live, and how many restaurants and bars are using it?
So we've only done this small pilot. We did it for about a month, and it worked really, really well. What we're building looks very simple, but it's actually super, super complicated because it's a payment system, as most people in here know. So we have this payments API we have to use. It has to be PCI compliant, and so on. So we have been revamping the product, and we will be live very shortly here. But the pilot went really well. We did it a month in Sacramento. It went really, really well, and that's how we sold all these
What
other
is
merchants.
really, really well in numbers?
Well, we had this average order of $30 per, and we had a transaction happening about every hour for a month. So it did really,
And how many people downloaded the app?
We did it on test flight, so we only allowed a certain number of users to use
Like
it.
all
It
your
hasn't been
friends?
in store yet.
Oh, okay. So your friends, mainly.
Yeah. So friends and a couple jackasses that weren't our friends, because we wanted to make sure that they could use it too.
Okay, so let's say you got $1 million. How much are you raising?
Well, we're not, well, I guess you're always raising money, right? But yeah, so we raised a healthy seed round, which gives us 4 developers a 1-year runway.
Okay.
So we're
And what do
right
you
now,
get- what
we're
are the
about 2
milestones?
months into that runway.
Okay, what are the milestones you expect to achieve by the end of that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So being live is one. So we should be live here within the next 15 days. And our goal is to get to that revenue model that I showed earlier. We'd like to have 20,000 active users, making an average request of $25 once per month. Doesn't seem like too much to ask. I know it's not setting the world on fire, but that would be a sustainable business. If we can achieve that, then we could achieve, obviously, scale.
Okay, why priority? That word priority just made no sense to me. Versus discount makes sense.
Would you
But
like premium better?
I just don't understand what it means, priority.
Yeah, priority, well...
Did you think of other words, or is that the
Yeah,
only word
it's
you
funny.
came up-
That's an interesting thing to key on. So we were using premium was the original word, and it didn't resonate with the user base in our pilot. And so we used priority, and they really liked that. So,
Okay.
and then as we started looking at other industries, like obviously the hotel and airline industry understand that. They use priority quite a bit. So we thought, well, maybe that doesn't mean we have to re-educate people, right?
Okay.
So we used priority, and people seem to understand. The other thing that is going to be interesting is in the priority, as you can see, there's a radical dialog box, right? You can type. We're starting to see some unique requests in this testing. Yeah. So if you look at, like, Path just acquired this really great company called Talk. Have you guys seen that? And you can do these pretty unique requests in there. So anyway.
What are the other verticals you're going to go after? I would like you to do nail salons because I think there's a lot of downtime for them, and they, they would be a great target market.
Yeah, we're not even sure that restaurants are going to be the best thing. So we're thinking about nail salons, attractions like museums and rides attractions. We certainly think that automotive could be a really interesting thing. Since you do so much pre-qualifying and research online first, then it would be a really easy way to make a request to more than one dealer. And I'll get real slippery here, maybe even healthcare. I know I'm not trying to sound hierarchical, but there could be actually more money in it for certain healthcare providers, and maybe a better way to optimize and normalize the capacity.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I also like the gamification. I think you should add more of that in there. What do you think? What do you guys think? Yes? No? Okay. All right, thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you all.
All right, we've got Eric Groves up next. He's the CEO of Alignable. Come on up.
All right, good afternoon. I'm sure we all have our favorite quotes from today, but mine is this morning when David was talking about the village economy and how it was where trust meets local at scale. And my name is Eric Groves, and I'm the CEO of Alignable, and we believe that local businesses are stronger together. So what we built was a local network, a social network where local businesses could come together, connect, collaborate, build business relationships, and build trust. So let me take you through a little bit of how it works. First of all, why do local businesses want to connect? What's there for them when they do connect? Well, first of all, it unlocks a vast amount of local knowledge. That knowledge can be used to solve problems, finding part-time help, letting each other know when shoplifters are nearby, and just simply to meet each other and break the ice. Once they do connect and they start collaborating, there are a vast number of opportunities for them to work together to reach new customers. And they do it by having large group events like holiday strolls, or simply a wine store and a chocolate store getting together for a wine and chocolate tasting. They also have the ability to help each other share different events and promotions they're doing to generate word-of-mouth referrals. So where is this happening? We launched in January just outside Boston with 5 communities and a couple hundred businesses. And since then, we've gone pretty much coast to coast. Actually, we're in every state in the country, into Canada, over 3,500 active communities. We have very large communities, such as Austin, Texas, that is almost 1,000 local businesses connecting and collaborating, and small communities that are just coming up. But the beautiful thing here is this not only works in the Silicon Valley, but it also works in Topeka, Kansas. So where do they land? They land in their community. Think of it as a business owner dropping into a 5-mile radius around your business. If it's New York City, it's down to a mile. But those are the businesses that you work with. And David earlier showed a stat that said 75% of consumer spending happens within 10 miles of your home. When you're a local business, 80% of your business comes from within 10 miles of your business. So that's the area that we drop you into, and that's the area that you can grow from. Once you've built those relationships in that community, you can easily go beyond that. So what are local businesses doing when they get into these communities? They're asking each other about you. They're saying, does that product work? Should I buy that product? This is an actual quote from one of our users saying, anyone else out there using the Square cash register system? I'm not too fond of it, but maybe I just need some guidance. The beautiful thing was, a business close by said, I'm using it, stop by, I'll show you how it works. That's the power of local. So how can partners join in on the conversation? As a partner of Alignable, what we do is we allow you to invite your users to join Alignable. When they join, we tag them as being knowledgeable about your product or service. So it's an example of Constant Contact inviting some of their users. Those users come in and said that they were welcomed and invited by Constant Contact, and they carry with them that brand for eternity as somebody that they're knowledgeable about. So one of the other great things that's happening in these communities is they're asking each other for advice, but one of the great ways to break the ice is to simply know who's using PayPal, who's using GoDaddy, who's using Constant Contact. And this is a simple way that they can make that connection. And with 2 minutes left to spare, I hand it back to you.
All right. I was not asleep. I was jotting notes. Okay.
Jotting notes, all right.
So this is impressive. The growth is pretty phenomenal. How the hell did you do that?
It is 99% viral word of mouth. And
No way.
and the
You are the
yeah.
dream. You are the dream.
Well, the fascinating thing is different types of businesses connect at different geographies. So believe it or not, the most connected industry in this country is the people who own yarn shops. They literally go on vacation to visit each other's shops. So when they join, they invite each other across the country, and that sparks new communities.
Did you say yarden shops?
Yarn.
Yarn shops.
Knitting,
Oh.
yes.
Who
Go
would have
figure.
thought? I had no idea. My question was going to be, why would busy, tired, overworked mom and pop shops want your services when they can walk down the street? So maybe you have an answer for that.
Yeah, that's a fascinating question. It was actually my co-founder, Venkat Krishnamurthy, who's one of the founders of Invisalign. And he was out there talking to a local business owner, trying to get him to buy into this notion of mobile couponing. And he was saying, wouldn't it be really cool if I walked by your store and you could push me a coupon? And the guy said, Venkat, I love you, stop. I just want to meet the guy across the street. His parking lot's always full. Can you make that happen with technology? And he's like, why don't you walk across the street? And the answer is they don't do it because 50 people come in trying to sell them something every day. They don't want to be one of those people. They need somebody to break the ice, and we break that ice.
Interesting. So tell me a little bit about your fundraising. Do you have funds to keep growing? What's your situation?
Absolutely. We just did a Series A fundraising, raised about, we have total fundraising of about $3.5 million in the bank. A little bit less than that because we're burning some cash, but we're in pretty good shape from a financial standpoint.
Okay, what are you doing with all that cash? How are you expanding?
How are we using the
other
cash?
than word of mouth, how are you accelerating the word of mouth?
Well, word
Because
of mouth.
I could turn around and just start the same thing.
Well, I think
right?
50,000
Yeah.
growth in a short amount of time is pretty good. But
No, it's great, but you got to keep ahead of me. Now
Yeah.
that I got this great idea, how
Yes.
do you stop me?
Well, the way that you keep going is you fuel word of mouth and you couple it with channel partners, which give you reach. I was one of the early founding executives at Constant Contact. Spent 10 years there building out their channel strategy and their go-to-market strategy, which was incredibly successful. And it's that combination of channel and word of mouth that is what scales in the local business community.
Who's paying you?
Who's paying me?
Yeah. No, who's paying?
My venture
What's
capitalists
the
are paying
business model?
The
You can't live on VC money alone.
No, the best way to think about it is LinkedIn for local business,
Right.
where there's
It took
the
them a
product
long
itself
time
is
before-
free,
Okay.
but there's going to be value-added services on top. So if you think about it, if I lock you into your 5-mile radius and you're a business-to-business owner, so about 60% of our customers are business-to-consumer, 30% business-to-business. They want larger than a 5-mile radius. So if you want larger, you'll pay us to get access to that, and that'll be something that we'll roll out in 2015.
Okay, so the small businesses are going to pay to get access to new consumers who are outside of their local area?
Outside of your
Is that the
area,
idea?
beyond your radius. Yeah, certain businesses that want like a 30 or 50-mile reach.
Okay. We are over time. Wow. Okay.
Overtime.
Thank you thank you very much. I'm going to call in the other. I'm going to call back our other founders. Have a seat, please. We're going to let the audience ask a few questions. Please raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question, and then we're going to have the vote.
We have time for one.
Oh, one question. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I dominated this. Anybody with the most pressing question, come up. Pressing questions only. No? Okay. I want you to applaud for. I'm going to go towards each and every entrepreneur. I want you to applaud if you think this is the winner of the 5-year plan. So this company will be in business in 5 years. They'll be going strong. All right. We're going to start with requested. Raise your hand. Aileen. You're not sitting in order. This is not fair.
Yeah.
Aaron. Oh, this is Aileen. Oh, no, this is Amanda. Amanda, Uplette. You guys just don't understand it. All right.
Cups.
Gilad, cups. Okay, it looks
Israelis
like it's a
are
tie.
loud.
It looks like it's a tie between Aileen and Cups. Congratulations, you'll be around in 5 years.